application process. How did you apply?
All right. So I applied basically by following the prompts on the university's website. So I was interested in pursuing a Master of Philosophy in Education because I had, like I said, I had only just completed my bachelor's and had just started a master's. And so since the master's was not completed, I was just looking for a fresh start to an MPhil. So all the universities I applied to, I was trying to apply to, I was aiming for a master's. So for Newcastle, I basically went to the website, looked at the program, and realized they had a Master of Philosophy in Education. Basically, just follow the prompts. I read about the program, I read about the research, the need for a proposal and the requirements, and I put them together. They need to contact supervisors and all that. So I just followed the prompts and submitted my application.
Oh, okay. So you have mentioned basically some of the requirements. So they need to contact supervisors. They need to get a proposal. What are the other requirements that you were expected to get in order to start your application? That is, start the process of getting to know your supervisors and all that.
So at my time, I'm sure that things have changed. But at the time I applied, I only needed a proposal, a very brief proposal, I think about 6 pages long, and then reach out to at least 2 supervisors, potential supervisors, reach out to them about your intended research and how their area of research align with yours and how you would be happy that they would supervise you for your research. And so those were the 2 core requirements. But then I also understood that the admission process was twofold. So there were 2 parts of it. The first part was the general application process and admission. And then the second part was if you are looking for funding in the scholarship bid. The application itself to enter the program didn't require anything extraneous. You only needed your bachelor's degree with a good standing. At least I would say generally a second class upper is fine, but if you have a lower or a third class, you can still try. And because ours is an honors degree, it's much more valued. And then basically get your transcripts in order, get a clear scan your transcripts, scan your certificates. I didn't have to write any English proficiency test. I only have to, get a proficiency letter from University of Cape Coast. And basically, I was asked if I was looking for funding when I was applying, and I said yes. And so there was a drop-down arrow of the available scholarships, and I ticked all of them because I didn't know which one I was eligible for, so I just ticked every one of them. And fortunately, I had been introduced to research earlier. So at the time I was applying, I think I had about 4 publications. And at the time it was a big deal because research was not really popular then, especially among, people who had just finished national service. Yeah. So I had 4 publications then. And so that was what I added. And actually, when I want to add this, when I contacted my supervisors, my potential supervisors, one of them replied quickly, immediately, and said, yes, I'm happy to supervise you. Are you this person who wrote this paper that is on ResearchGate? And I said, yes, that's me. And she said, okay, fine, that's great. Just put in your application and say that you are applying for scholarship as well. And so I would say that dimension, being known already in the field, with your work out there, that people know that this is what you write about, would definitely give you a headway in terms of, seeking funding and all that. So, yeah.
All right. I know people also include resume or CV as part of their application. What were some of the key things that were required in your resume?
Yes, resumes are also very important because you're applying for an academic study, and so you need to position yourself and showcase yourself as an academic in the making. So basically, the resume should, at my time, again, I would say there was no template for resumes. Now, many universities have their own template that you have to populate. But my time, it was just a normal resume. I had the basic features, your name, your qualifications, your education, your experience, whatever you've done, just very brief, about 2 pages. So that's what was required. But these days, there are all manner of templates that universities require applicants to fill. So yeah, that was a part of my resume. You needed referees as well listed on a resume. And aside from that, you needed reference letters from at least 2 people at a time, 2 people who knew your academic background and could attest to your ability to study and finish on time. Yeah.
Okay, so now after your potential supervisors asking you to go ahead with the application, tell us about the actual application. Did you do it yourself or through an agent? And if you did it yourself, how did you go about with the application?
All right. So I did it myself. Like I said, didn't know any process or anything whatsoever about Australia or any other higher education institution and its application process. I was basically trying to get the process underway by myself. So yes, I did the application myself. And there's an online application form. You just create an account with an email that is active, and then you basically fill the various questions or answer the various questions on the application form, upload relevant documents when necessary. When it gets to the part of, your supervisors who have agreed to supervise, you just list their names. So basically, I just followed the prompts and I submitted it myself. And then, so no agent was involved at the time until after I had gained admission.
Oh, okay. You mentioned relevant documents. You have mentioned some before, like the resume, like your proposal, transcripts. Were there other documents that were required in terms of the actual application process?
Yes. So at the time, there were 2 additional documents I remember. I had to write a brief statement of purpose.
Okay.
A very brief one that detailed my background and why I was interested in the University of Newcastle and interested in the program itself and interested in Australia for that matter. So yes, I think it was about 2 pages long. And of course, all of the regular things like your CV, your transcripts and certificates, your passport, of course. You want to travel, so you need to get a passport organized. I don't know if I'm missing anything, but at the time, Newcastle also had a form that was called the Genuine Student Entrance Form. So I also had to complete that as part of the Newcastle application process.